Hello, everyone. Welcome back to some more Great Ace Attorney 2. My chat's saying it's not connecting to YouTube. I think I need to send another test message on Twitch. I'm gonna see if that works. Only here to comment that 10 years in the joint made you a Well, what do you mean? Hey Ed, how you doing? Yeah, for some reason... Hold on, let me just... test something. Yeah, it's all working. No, it says it isn't. No, it says it isn't. But hey Ed, how you doing? There's gonna be spoilers. What did I do? What does that mean? Alright, well, chat's working. That's good. I wasn't sure about that. Anyway. You really wanted to post a meme? Is that a meme that I don't get? I've not seen before? Or is that just like, let's see. Just wanted to post a meme. Yeah, that's fine. I wouldn't expect you to be here because spoilers. No context? Okay. Alright, see ya, Ed. Thanks for dropping by. Nice to see you. Okay. Everything's working. Good. Good. Yeah, that's fine. And the audio seems to be working clearly. I accidentally, like, upped the sound on my phone. But anyway, welcome back. I'm kind of exhausted, but I'm gonna do my best to keep a high energy for this stream. We will see how things go. Last time, what happened? What did we just leave off on? Oh, right, the deduction, and then I had to go. That's right. Yeah. All right, let's pick up from where we left off last time. In truth, I would like to have thought that I could have predicted the booby-trapped chest. But it caught me completely off guard. I was very nearly the late consulting detective Herlock Sholmes. I'm sorry, Ollie. So you mean this autopsy report really is... Yes, I took it from the lab. Even though I knew it was very important. Was there something that troubled you? Iris? Not exactly something that troubled me. Something I'd been looking for. When I saw this report, when I saw the writing in it, I knew it was Daddy's. The writing? Your father's writing? What do you really mean? Iris? Must be something that's hard for her to talk about. Sholmes, you interrupted new music. I thought that was going to continue to play. Why did it just stop? Oh, come on. Forgive me for interrupting, my dear fellows. Mr. Sholmes, what is it? I feel as though the poor unconscious gentleman on the settee has been somewhat forgotten. Father! Perhaps we should find our guest somewhere more peaceful to rest. Mr. Naruhodo! Yes? Would you be so kind to lend him your bed? We must do our very best to make him comfortable, I feel. Oh, yes, of course. I'll help you carry him up. So will I. No, I can manage alone, thank you. You have tea to enjoy. We wouldn't want Iris's brood to stew. Because there's no better way to make the professor comfortable than dragging him upstairs like a trunk. I feel like I was so confused for a sec, like which professor? The murderer professor? No, it's because he's a professor at a university. Okay, I get it. At least I'm assuming Twitch chat is working fine. I won't know until anyone gets here, I suppose. Alright. Nothing to report, Professor. There we go. Hey, Curb. Welcome. I'm a little tired today, but I'll do my best to get through this in high spirits. I just want to relax and just progress in this game. Like, oh, I've been so busy in the past few days. I don't know if it's my short streams have made that kind of obvious. I'm trying to fit in as much time. I've got free time today. So it's good. But I just need to like get into the zone for reading and all that. Yeah, Sholmes died yesterday. That's right. Maybe Mr. Sholmes is making himself scarce to give Iris the chance to talk more freely.
Must use this opportunity to talk with Iris and find out what's going on.
There we go. There's the music back. Your daddy. Would you like to tell us about it, Iris? About your father?
I'm sure I told you before, didn't I? That Daddy used to be Early's partner. Yes, and that notes about all the cases they solved together are kept inside that metal chest. That's right. Early told me, see? He said that Daddy's somewhere far away now, so we can't meet.
That's one way of describing it.
And when I secretly unlocked the chest and read through the papers inside, I started to build a picture in my head of what Daddy must be like.
Well, that's only natural.
You're just like any other girl of your age. I read that Daddy was a professor of medical science, so I studied and took my degree too.
Well, that's only natural, I suppose.
In that respect, you're not quite like any other girl of your age, though.
Right, because she already has a degree.
But there was one thing that I could never find out. Daddy's name.
Ah.
His name wasn't anywhere on the notes that he'd made about his work with Early. But then one day...
That's what happened, is it? When you saw this autopsy report, you finally managed to work it out. Is that right?
Yes.
So it was the handwriting in the report that caught her eye. Is it in the... No, it's not in the court record.
When I saw the writing in the report, I could hardly believe it. I know that handwriting, I thought to myself.
Because it was the same writing as you'd seen in your father's case notes.
Exactly. I was desperate to compare the two properly. I needed to see them side by side. I asked the doctor in the laboratory, but I was told I couldn't take the report away. And even worse, I was told that was the first and last we'd be allowed to even look at it there.
So you decided to steal it.
When I compared the autopsy report with the case notes I had here, there was no doubt. The handwriting was exactly the same. It was Daddy's. And the signature of the coroner at the bottom of the autopsy report
read, Dr. John H. Wilson.
But that's how I finally found out. I learned Daddy's name at last.
I see.
Ever since then, I've called myself Iris Wilson. That's also when I had the brilliant idea of writing stories all about Daddy's exciting times of Hurley. I decided then and there that I'd write the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Oh, Iris. I had no idea the stories had quite such a deep personal significance for you.
I can see why the autopsy report was so important to her now. And why she was prepared to break the law to get her hands on it. Who is this? I must apologize, Iris. I must apologize, Iris. This was really all my fault.
Early?
I made a promise, you see, that until the time was right, I keep the details about your father a secret.
I know. I've been very naughty. I'll take the autopsy report back to Dr. Gory and apologize, I promise.
Yes, we'll go together, I think.
Then, let me look after it for you until we get there.
Let's put it in the court record until it's right. Yeah, let's look over it instead. Okay. Coroner, Dr. John H. Wilson. Name, Client Van Zix, male, age 33. Nationality, British. 31st of May between 9 p.m. and midnight. Death from a single stab wound to the heart. Other superficial external wounds indicative of a duel. Recent scarlet ink stains visible on the little ring fingers of the right hand, but no document in corresponding ink was found. Autopsy findings. Vital evidence recovered from the victim's stomach during the autopsy. Huh. Credit to Inspector Gregson for petitioning so doggedly for the autopsy procedure. No internal trauma noted anywhere in the body. Okay.
Let's go and water my herbs, I think. I'll see you all later.
Poor Iris. She must be feeling awful. I know Mr. Sholmes is here for her, but still.
Ah! What? How? What's the meaning of this, Mr. Sholmes?
Mr. Sholmes? Oh, dear me. So, you've noticed, I see.
But that would mean...
What's the matter, Mr. Sato? You've turned as white as a sheet. What about it?
It's this autopsy report, Mr. Narugoro. The one from 10 years ago. The writing. Isn't Dr. Wilson's at all.
Huh? What do you mean? How could you possibly know that?
Because I know this writing very well.
Oh, yeah.
This writing, it's my father's.
What? What? Professor Mikotoba's? Huh.
Indeed, it's true. And now you know. My dear fellows.
No, I don't know anything. What on earth does this all mean, Mr. Sholmes? Wait, so Mikotoba's known Sholmes for a while then? I wonder. Because the idea that's slowly forming in my mind is just too extraordinary to believe. Please, you have to explain. So, this autopsy report was actually penned by Professor Mikotoba, man. But that makes no sense. It's not possible, surely.
Not possible, my dear fellow. Pray, take a deep breath and think again.
Yes, you're right. In some ways, it actually makes a great deal of sense.
It does?
10 years ago is when Father returned to Japan after his extended study in tour in Britain.
And prior to his return, where was Dr. Mikotoba engaged?
Ah, of course. He was an assistant in Dr. Wilson's laboratory, learning about forensic science.
And as an assistant, he would have aided in the dissection work, making detailed notes, which would be assembled into the full autopsy report. Once the work was complete, the head coroner would check the contents and put his signature on the document.
In other words, the only writing of Dr. Wilson's in the report would be his signature at the end.
I see. One moment. Remember to she out on my God damn it, Bang. I need to remember to charge my controller. Hey, welcome, Bang. I'm guessing you're still playing as Azure, right? Alright, controller plugged. Tightly. So Iris got the wrong end of the stick, you mean? She saw that and assumed the whole report had been written by Dr. John H. Wilson.
Which is very understandable, of course.
What a complicated situation. The details of Klein's autopsy report have been updated in the court record. What does that mean? Your partner, yeah. Thinking about it, most of what we know about you, Mr. Sholmes, comes from the published stories about your exploits.
Yes, The Adventure of Sherlock Holmes, written by Iris.
And we really have no way of knowing what's fact and what's fiction.
Most troubling for you, my dear fellow, I'm sure.
So what about the supposed partner of yours? Did he really exist or not?
Ah, you've come straight to the point, I see.
Please come straight to the answers.
I believe Iris explained it in one of her installments. He was a trusted comrade, and the only person I could have truly called a friend.
Did this partner of...
Does that mean we're not your friends? Man, that's cold. That's fucking cold.
And did this partner of yours truly make a record of all your cases? Are his notes really stored inside that metal chest?
Absolutely, my dear madame. Absolutely.
So, where's your partner now?
We rarely meet. You see, he lives on the other side of the world.
But if this autopsy report and the records of all your old cases were penned by the same hand, and if the autopsy report was written, though not signed, by your famous partner, there would be only one logical conclusion. Wait, really?
Pray, impress me.
Your partner would have to be Eugene Mikotoba. In other words, Mr. Sato's father.
Upon my word, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes?
You are coming along wonderfully. You have hit upon the method at last.
Hang on, then that makes sense. Wait. That puts a lot of things into perspective then, like the whole Kazuma stuff. I wonder.
You finally grasped the art of deduction.
You mean to say?
Allow me to introduce you to my great friend and partner, Mikotoba.
Wait, is this a Mikotoba theme? Oh my god, wait, he does look like the Wilson silhouette, like Watson. If you took away the facial features and just kind of looked at that silhouette, I'm like, wait. That does kind of look like a Watson. In a way. I don't know, my image of what Watson would look like, I don't know. Obviously, that's just me. But you know, that's... It definitely has big partner vibes, yeah. Sholmes and... I do appreciate that it's not the whole Holmes and Watson, and they've played on it a bit here, and I like that. It's quite iterative.
Does this mean you're the real Dr. Wilson?
No, my dear, I am still my old self, Eugene Mikotoba, your father.
Hey BDP, welcome.
Oh, of course.
This is obviously too much for Sasato-san to take in.
I must say, though, how my old friend has attained worldwide celebrity, and as a great mystery solver is the greatest mystery of all. I still remember the first time we met. Pray remind me, when was it, Mikotoba?
16 years ago, Sholmes.
Yes, quite. 16 years ago.
I just arrived from Japan with Seishiro and Genshin.
I'll search and lodgings to close the hospital. Some comfortable rooms at a reasonable price. But rents are definitely high at that particular area. That's right. So I decided I need someone to share lodgings at the expense. I was fortunate enough to be introduced to Sholmes, who found himself in a similar situation. I was a callow fellow back then, a mere shadow of a great detective you see before you now. I was working at the hospital's chemical laboratory at the time, indulging in my curiosities for little gain. And the situation of our cohabitation led us to pursuing cases together, you see. Hard to believe, it was a mere 6 years. We had a great many adventures. But in the last year of Mikotoba's stay in Britain, that most infamous cases presented itself. The case with which you've become rather familiar with yourselves, the Professor killings.
Yeah.
After the trial, Seishiro and I were sent back home.
Hardly surprising, given the circumstances.
So there you have it. And as you know, all the details I recorded by my trusty chronicler remain in that metal chest.
This is just amazing. Professor Mikotoba really is Mr. Sholmes' famous partner. And who's Iris?
Father,
Goodness, my dear, what a cutting look.
as your daughter, I'm very proud to learn that you're a great detective's great partner. But nevertheless, there's another mystery that I really must ask you to explain now.
And that is?
You know very well what it is. The unresolved matter of Iris's father.
Ah, of course. I'd almost forgotten about that one.
I should have seen this coming, I suppose.
Yeah.
Iris told us that all the notes about the great detective's adventures on that metal chest were written by her father. Isn't that correct, Mrs. Sholmes?
Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. There has to be an explanation for this, right? It's not going to be as silly as I think it might end up being. Okay.
That is indeed what I told young Iris.
But if you're Mr. Sholmes' partner, father, and you wrote all those case notes, then Iris's father must be you.
Ah! Ah! Upon my word, Mr. Sato. You are coming along wonderfully as well. You two have hit upon the method at last. You finally grasped the art of deduction. What?
I love how he suppressed as well.
What you've always told me, father, is that my mother died when I was born 16 years ago, and you left me and grandmother's care whilst you embarked on your study tour of Britain. I've always accepted that. But, all this about Iris.
Ooh, there it is. Sasato's son's ice cold stare.
Now, hold on a minute. It was very complicated. I mean, it's really not what you think.
Then perhaps you'd like to explain what it is?
There it is. Now the eyes go from ice cold to red hot. Just before she...
No, really, you've got the wrong end of the stick. Sholmes, say something, man. That's quite enough, my fiery fellows.
Mr. Sholmes? When did he get all dressed up? Maybe I should change back to the original outfits at this point. What did he get dressed into? I don't know what happened. Oh my god.
Whilst I don't like to interrupt this exciting exploration of the past, Mikotoba and I have an urgent matter that requires a short excursion.
Play the whole... Hey Chris, welcome. Playing the whole game with those same outfits, no regrets. I've only changed Naruhodo back because I think the whole, what does RQ stand for? Oh, real quick. Yeah, sure. I can do that. I was gonna say, I changed Naruhodo back. I'm probably gonna change it back for the last case anyway, so I may as well do it now. But I changed Naruhodo back, because I like the contrast between the black and white between him and Kazuma. The black and white outfits. He changes into this. That's achievements. Taylor, here we go. That's what he looks like. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of prefer Susato in her, like, new outfit. I don't know. I don't really want to change it. I kind of want to keep it at least until the last case. Like... Sholmes? Oh, right. Yeah. I kind of want to keep it as is until the last case. Last case, we go back to default. I think that's fine. But, like, right now, I can't... It would feel wrong seeing Sholmes in his original outfit again.
But it's very late, Mr. Sholmes. Where must you go?
Why, my dear madame, is it not obvious my partner and I must pursue on our natural enemies? So, get your coat, Mikotoba. The game is afoot.
Hold up. I needed to pause. Holy shit, the fucking music. What the fuck? Holy shit. There's still new music I haven't heard? Actually fucking insane.
But Jones, I really must give Susato a full explanation, I think. Later, my dear fellow, later. Our carriage awaits downstairs already. You haven't changed one iota, have you? I mean, really, I visit our home after 10 long years. When I open that chest in a fit of nostalgia, I quite inexplicably pass out. And if that wasn't enough, when I eventually regain consciousness, I'm plunged straight into all of this.
Father, please. Go with Mr. Sholmes now.
What?
I've no doubt that whatever happened, you were acting in everyone's best interest. I trust you completely.
Holy shit, this music's so good!
Susato!
And sending the great detective and his great partner off on new adventures together is more than I could have hoped for in my wildest dreams.
Very well then, we'll speak again later. So, I believe your own work is done for the day. I wish you the best of luck for tomorrow. Yes, Naruhodo, good luck in battle. And in reaching a decision.
A decision about whether to go back to Japan, I suppose.
So much happened that day that I barely knew what to do with myself.
They're sidechaining the music with the voices. That's cool. There's not much voice dialogue in this game, but what is voice is really good.
It would only be later that I'd come to realize how amidst the chaos I'd unleashed were all the clues I needed.
Chaos I'd
finally
unleashed?
unearth the truth.
Chaos? Sonic Unleashed? The Chaos Sonic Unleashed?
And that all the turmoil
Chaos
was
Emeralds?
necessary to give me the resolve to see everything through.
Title drop, I think we're done. I think that's it. I think the game's over. We just had the title drop. These really were the Great Ace Attorney 2 resolves, I think. Alright. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you later. Alright. Great stream. See you tomorrow. Wait, that's the end of the entire case? Wait, what? Wait, are we on case 5? What the fuck? Alright, one moment. Okay, I was expecting there to be more of a trial. No, okay, so this is the final trial. Yeah, okay. Wow! Holy shit, I don't think there's ever been a trial that's gone over, like, 2 chapters. This is like, they really are willing to break tradition to tell a better story. That's insane. Holy shit. Anyway. Now we can change back. Part 4 and Part 5 and one big trial. Yeah, that's so cool! Holy shit! Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. I was wondering about that. No, okay. Holy shit. This is so good. Oh my god. Final chapter. Oh my god. I read that because it's fucking cursive. I thought it said the Ryunosuke of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm just like, okay. So damn. Is there even going to be more investigation after this? I think there's a trial that has been 2 cases. Apollo Justice. Also, this is new music. What the fuck? They're saving all the new music for the final case? That's so sick. What the fuck? I don't even remember. Apollo Justice. Hold on. Was the final trial 2 cases? 2 chapters? I actually don't remember what the final trial of that game was, which is funny because I do think I really like Apollo Justice. Welcome to the finale along with me. The first trial was 2. Is it? Don't we get a not guilty for Phoenix at the start of Apollo Justice? Anyway, yeah, I'm trying to remember. I'm not gonna. Maybe I shouldn't spoil Apollo Justice. CM's gonna be watching these VODs, and he's only played the original trilogy in these 2 games, so. Because there's no ports of the 4 to 6 yet, which kind of stinks. And God, actually, now I just realized that even if we're able to get ports of the 4 to 6, right? It's 2 different ones, right? Yeah. Even if we're gonna get ports of Ace Attorney 4 to 6, Phoenix Wright vs. Professor Layton is gonna be stuck on the 3DS for all eternity. I'm pretty certain, because what the fuck is going on with level 5 at the moment? Does anybody know? You know? So, the time's finally come, and so have I. Today, we unravel everything. That's the Tokyo Ghoul soundtrack opening. And yes, now we're back to original outfits. I think it's fitting. I think level 5 is going back to taking... Yeah, I heard stuff about that, but yeah. They said there's also stuff about them wanting to come back to having like localized titles or whatever. It's been so weird. I don't know what's going on with them at the moment. I'll be counting on your support more than ever today, Mr. Sato. Mr. Sato? Oh. We have to have a good Sasato takedown by the end of the game.
Oh no, what's the matter, Mr. Naruhodo?
Nothing. I was just saying that I'll be relying on your support today, but...
I'm so sorry, of course. I know it can be rather incompetent at times, but... I shan't let you down.
Would you mind helping me to my feet then?
Oh dear, I'm really very sorry.
Oh shit, we're closer to the end than I thought then. Sasato-san isn't her usual stuff at all. Though I expect this... I don't know if we're gonna see any more investigations. Don't tell me if there are, obviously, but like, I get the feeling that this is just gonna be one long trial at this point. And by long, I mean actually long, it's gonna be the same length as a regular chapter. So, that's just my gut feeling based on this, yeah, based on the pacing of this. But that's hardly surprising, I suppose. She's just found out that her father is the partner of a world-famous detective, not to mention...
Good morning, sir.
Oh, right. Lord Von Zieks!
Thank you for all your efforts yesterday.
What? Did I hear that correctly?
What?
Oh, no, nothing. I hope we can clear things up today. I really can't make this man out. I really can't make out with this man. His face says, I hate you, but his words are almost jovial today. That's 100% the voice I expect him to have. Great, I'm nailing it then. I'm kind of trying to do like my best Zemnis impression, if you play Kingdom Hearts, Chris. That's what I'm trying to do for Van Zix. I think it fits him really well. Yeah, of course you want to make out with that man. Yeah, he does have a voice in game, yeah.
Lord Van Zix isn't the Reaper, Mr. Naruhodo.
Good point.
The Reaper. I suppose in hindsight, I shouldn't have allowed that misconception to go unchallenged.
Huh?
It was my tacit acceptance of that pseudonym. My failure to stop the Reaper becoming something more than a mere legend that led to all of this.
But you're not to blame for that, Lord Van Zix.
It's only because serious crime in the capital dropped off so sharply when the public started
Oh wait, hang on. This is Trianovsky speaking. It's only because serious crime in the capital dropped off so sharply when the public started calling you that. Hey, at least I committed to it.
To be frank, I'm not sure that was the sole reason.
What do you mean?
There was a rumor at the time that the Reaper was really the ghost of my late brother. That having been slain by that evil killer, Clint's restless spirit returned as some sort of demigod to wield a deadly blade of justice, where I, by dint of the law, could not.
Yes, we've heard that story too.
When I lost him, I felt as though I'd lost my guiding light. I didn't know where to go or what to do. And so, in some small way, I wonder if perhaps those rumors made me feel his absence a little less keenly. Even if I knew it was just an illusion, just some nonsense conjured up by an over-imaginative public.
He was obviously extremely important to you, Lord Clint Van Zix.
Well, what's important now is uncovering the truth. That's all that matters. I know that you didn't take anyone's life. And I intend to prove that beyond a shadow of a doubt in court today.
I never thought I'd say this, but I can see it in your eyes, that burning desire to cut through all the lies and deception. I can't deny it any longer. You are a lawyer of absolute integrity.
Thank you.
Now tell me.
Okay, we're good. Sorry. There was some noise coming from outside. I wasn't sure what it is. Zix acknowledges us. Yeah. Okay.
Why do I detect the scents of expensive tea leaves in the air?
Hello. Oh, Iris. When did you get here?
Oh. I brought you one of my special blends. Holly loves it. He says it helped him to clear his head.
This is an interesting combination of characters.
I thank you.
Oh,
That's surely the first and last time I'll ever see a sight like this. I know, right? You seem different today, Iris.
oh,
Sort of subdued, I suppose.
I am not.
What happened yesterday is obviously still playing on her mind a lot. She's very clearly troubled about having stolen that autopsy report from Dr. C's laboratory.
Alright then, good luck to you both. I have to make a move now. Oh, you're not staying?
I thought you'd want to watch today's proceedings.
Well, I'd like to cheer you on, obviously. But I've got lots to get ready.
Get ready. For what?
Oh yes. Would you take a look at this? Would you take this?
Isn't that one of those little felt dolls that's usually dangling from your nightstand?
Yes, it's a lucky charm. A little Hurley that I made once.
A Hurley? It looks more like a Haley. God damn.
If for some reason you completely run out of options in the trial today, then just pull this little Hurley's ears. As hard as you possibly can.
What? Pull his ears?
That's right. It's a way to bring good luck. I think you might need it.
Oh, that's interesting.
You think what we'll need is luck? I just sneak a peek inside the courtroom. And it seemed very different to normal.
Yes, it would seem
Hey, it's me. Welcome. How you doing?
that a certain someone has decided to pull out all the stops.
I wonder if Lord Strongheart is gonna show up. Part of me feels like Strongheart is gonna be like the mastermind of all of this. I'm doing alright. I'm a little tired, but I'll be fine. I'm getting to the end of this game. We're in the last chapter now. So that means I'm either playing Fire Emblem 7 next or Zwei 2. I'm considering alternating between the games as well, because I especially for the start of Fire Emblem 7, I know that's going to be a bit of a slog. But we'll see how things go, honestly. What does that mean? Maybe because it's a slog, I should focus on it. I don't know. I'm intrigued in Zwei 2. I've heard it's a better game, but it doesn't have as much charm. That's what I've heard about it. But generally, it's a really good game. So.
What about Mr. Shorms, Iris? I don't know. He was out all night and he hadn't come home by the time I'd left this morning. Oh, I see.
Was Professor Mikotoba out all night, do you think, Mr. Susato?
Yes, it would seem so. I telegrammed the hotel this morning. And apparently they didn't come back to their rooms last night at all.
They?
Father and Judge Jigoku, I mean.
Judge Jigoku too.
That's right, nobody appears to have seen either of them since yesterday.
Counsel for the defense and the defendant. Court is about to be in session. Please make your way inside the courtroom at once.
Good luck then, Rosa. Good luck, Susie.
Yes, thanks, Iris.
And you, Mr. Reaper, hope it goes well.
Once again, I thank you for the delicious tea. It was very soothing.
Oh, I'm so glad. We must go inside now, Lord Von Zix.
Lord Von Zix has always been the formidable prosecutor I've had to lock horns with in court. But not today. Today, I battle with another in pursuit of the truth. My best friend, Kazuma Sorgi, who I trust more than anyone else in the world. Watch, it's just gonna be Strongheart instead of Kazuma. Now I understand what it was that drew me here to Britain all those months ago. Now I know exactly what destiny had in store for me. It's all been leading up to this one day, to this one trial, to this one final reckoning. All right. No, it is Kazuma. Cool. Is Strongheart going to be the judge? There's no judge there. It feels even more oppressive here than it did yesterday. Why do I feel like Strongheart's going to show up in this case? I feel like we don't know much about him, and he's like the big question mark here. They're cold steels piercing me like knives from all sides today.
Mr. Naruhodo, look.
I fucking knew it. Fuck! I can't do a good long... I can't do a good Lord Stronghart voice. I really can't.
Lord Strongheart, I kind of... Yeah, stop that. Sorry, it's like... It's one of those things, it's like, okay, there's a character that seems very prominent, not only on the box art of this game, actually, it's not... Oh yeah, no, he is. He's like behind Naruhodo, acting all like... supreme, or whatever. Seeing the back of him, right? And... we don't know much about him. He's a big question mark. So, if they're not gonna bring him front and center in this case, I don't see... what was ever going to happen, you know? Like what we're gonna do with that, you know? We're gonna leave it unresolved, like most plot points in Xenoblade 3. Kazuma must have known beforehand.
The ramifications of this trial now extend far beyond the murder of one Scotland Yard inspector. In fact, events have come to light that threaten to rock the very foundations of our country's legal system. The escape of a condemned criminal on the night of his execution, the subsequent unlawful shooting of the man, and the revelation that the prison staff must have been complicit in the jailbreak. Britain is currently hosting the influential members of the judiciary from countries around the world. It is imperative that we uncover the truth in these proceedings to avoid international embarrassment. By royal decree, this will continue to be a closed trial, and one over which I, Miles Strongheart, exercise total and unequivocal authority.
Wow. The Six Jurors Flames just...
As was the case in the case in yesterday's proceedings, those here present in the public gallery are distinguished members of our judiciary, assembled to bear witness to a fair judicial process. In other words, a collection of your acolytes, Lord Strongheart.
He does look evil. I was gonna say, I've said this before, he reminds me of, I think his name is Gant from the first game's, like, extra case.
On a personal note, I found out this most distressing, Lord Von Zieks. You are a prosecutor of exceptional talent. Much like your brother client, in fact.
Could be his ancestor or something. Maybe. I wonder what Gant's Japanese name is.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session for the trial of Barock von Zieks, who officially stands accused of murder. Counsels for the prosecution and defense. Are you in full readiness to proceed?
The defense is ready, my lord. As is the prosecution.
Yesterday's proceedings brought to light a shocking and disturbing fact.
Holy shit, this music.
There was a side to the victim, Inspector Tobias Gregson, that was unknown to his superiors at Scotland Yard. Yes, he was carrying out operations in secret, which Scotland Yard knew nothing about. And those in clandestine operations had an accomplice, Mr. Dally Vigil, who would be given the inspector's identification and present himself around the capital in order to establish a credible alibis for Gregson. In that way, Gregson appeared to be carrying out his regular Scotland Yard work when in fact he wasn't. At the end of yesterday's session, Mr. Vigil, who had been suffering from amnesia, regained his memory. It would appear he buried his memories of the time deep inside himself as a means of self-preservation. Because whilst he was engaged as a chief warder at Berkeley Prison, he abetted the convict's escape. Mr. Vigil is currently recuperating at St. Simon's. He recovered enough to give a signed statement about his movements on the day prior to the incident. He's formally admitted to posing as Gregson,
while investigating the Red-Headed League.
Which brings us to the crucial issue of the victim's time of death. The defense yesterday proposed the suggestion that the victim may have been killed one day earlier. This was based largely on the discovery that the victim's pocket watch had not been wound.
The prosecution has something to report on that, my subject. Professor, my lord. Nothing to report, Professor!
Really, go ahead, Prosecutor Asorgi.
I met once again with the coroner yesterday to discuss the issue. She confirmed that the defense's suggestion could not be ruled out. It's entirely possible that Inspector Gregson was killed on the 31st of October, the day before his body was discovered. I have here an updated autopsy report that includes the amended details.
But the official opinion of the investigation team was made clear yesterday that the time of death wasn't 5 p.m. on 1st of November.
There are indications of an attempt to disguise the real time of death, however. It seems that natural decaying process of the victim's body may have been slowed by keeping it chilled.
That's out of the question. There are no refrigeration devices in that part of London large enough to accommodate a human corpse.
My lord, this is more than just conjecture. There's evidence to support the idea. We must investigate it thoroughly.
Very well. The court will accept the new report as evidence. However, if this updated report is deemed to be accurate, it will give renewed significance to the movement of the victim on the day before the Fresno Street incident.
It would, yes, especially since on that day, Inspector Gregson was using Mr. Vigil to cover up his real movement. It's conceivable that he was killed in the course of his secret activities.
Do I sense that the prosecution has some information regarding those activities?
Scotland Yard put an enormous effort into investigating that precise matter yesterday. I think we should begin by presenting the results of that investigation work. So the prosecution calls its first witness now. Gory? No, it's Gina. British? British? State your name and occupation for the court. Inspector Gina Lestrade, reporting, representative of Scotland Yard. A self-conferred rank, but never mind. Uh-oh! Gina, again. All the peak characters showing up for this final case. What's your problem? Oh! What's with that? Gina, again? Look, eh? The boss meant the world to me. He done more for me than anyone else ever did.
Oh, Inspector Gregson, you mean?
He got me out of the back slums of the East End and took me under his wing. Taught me I have a purpose. So that's why I'm the best person to be standing here speaking for him. Jesus, what with that?
Oh, Gina.
Right. Out of all out of the goodness of Gregson's heart, not at all that he had an arm twisted by Mr. Sholmes, no. What's relevant to these proceedings is that the outcome of Scotland Yard's investigations yesterday has revealed that the victim was carrying out some assignment that the police knew nothing about.
Very troubling.
That face. Lord Strongheart knew. So, Inspector Lestrade, let's hear exactly what it says in the report. Coming right up, sir! God, we're really close to the end, huh? It's so surreal to me that I don't have many Ace Attorney games left. Like, I don't have any after this. I've played every single one of them. Oh my god. All yard detectives are supposed to follow orders and investigate what they're told. But a little search of the boss's office turned up a notebook and there had a load of secret meetings in it. According to that, the boss was looking into some smuggled goods stealing that day. Looks like it was a big job and all, but the coppers weren't onto it yet. What matters most is this witness what saw the Reaper at the place too. Smuggled goods? I know, do I? I'm just
tell you what was written in the book.
Tobacco, tea, spices, medicines, goods of all sorts flow into London by legal means.
Hold on.
By legal channels from across the globe. It's well known that they're disposed of at a regular black markets that take place in the capital.
And this one's probably the best. Yeah, honestly, the first game won me over really hard. Like, more than I was expecting it to. Because what? Ace Attorney Investigations 2 was hyped up to be like the best Ace Attorney game. And while I think it's good, I do think it's a little overhyped. You know? To some extent. This one, even though it's been hyped up for me just the same way as Ace Attorney Investigations 2 did, I would almost argue it's exceeded expectations, you know? It was the best one at the time? Yeah, makes sense. I think this one has exceeded my expectations, even though I expected it to be very good, you know? And that's not something that happens a lot, you know? Because sometimes I find when people hype up a game too much for me, I tend to traditionally, like, enjoy it less. You know, if I'm like expecting greatness and I get greatness, I just kind of feel a little underwhelmed when I finish the game. And I think part of me felt the same when I finished East 8, for instance. There are a few games I can name. Ace Attorney Investigations 2, East 8. But like, even, like, not that those games were bad. I think, like, there was a bit of... My expectations were set too high. Yeah, I usually try to expect nothing as well. But there are some games that people just hype up to an endless degree that it's hard to not expect something good. This game falls into the rare category where it's been hyped up so much for me, and yet it still exceeded my expectations. And I'm saying this before finishing it, right? And I think that's a sign of something really, really special, you know? So glad I didn't play Persona 5 just a little while ago. I feel the same towards Undertale. It took me 4 years to get to Undertale, and I'm really glad I put it off for that long. I still got to upload my playthrough. I recorded it all on a really shitty mic back then, but...
But the police are rarely able to locate it in time.
So Inspector Gregson was investigating one of those black markets.
It's been suggested that high-ranking government officials may be involved in black market activity. No doubt Gregson was trying to avoid details of his investigations being leaked to the involved parties. That was why it explained why he was operating on his own authority, without the Yard's knowledge.
And do we know where the dealings were taking place this time?
In a particular room of a certain exclusive London gentleman's club. And on the day in question, the accused is known to have been there. That's a collusion of Scotland Yard's investigation into the matter.
That can't be! We haven't heard anything about this. And like Undertale, when I first read it back when everyone was talking about it, returned to a few years and enjoyed it much more. Yeah! There are a few games I'm doing, like, one game I've kind of refused to touch because everyone won't stop talking about it is Hollow Knight. I think it's kind of like, between some of my friends, it's kind of becoming like, oh my god, holy shit, MB play Hollow Knight. Stop putting it off. I will get to it. Eventually. Anyway,
Members of the club have testified it.
Members of the club have testified it.
There's no question. The accused, Baruch von Zix, was present. That would be very significant testimony then.
Oh my, but... Lord Van Zix has made no mention of this at all.
In short, Lord Van Zix had ample opportunity to murder the victim.
Holy shit! Holy shit, what is that sound effect? That's so weird! I'm probably gonna take a break in about an hour from now. I don't know how far I'll get in an hour, but I'll come back after that. Yeah, his cane, yeah. That's so fucking raw, what the fuck? I think I'm gonna come back tonight and play more. I think this game's got me by the balls at this point, you know? I need to play more. I need to play more.
yard, detective. Oh wait, hang on, I've already read this. There's a long trial. Okay, I'll keep that in mind because, okay, I probably won't finish it today, but we'll see. We'll see how things go. Hold it! I cannot stay up that late. Or as Gina would say, it's got ya by the bollocks, MB.
It's got you by the bollocks, MB.
So you follow orders, Eugenia?
Nah, not me. I'm above all that, see?
Oh.
The boss always had special orders for me. Grab us some fish and chips, or go and give Toby his grub. That kind of thing.
It was good, but kind of dragged near the very end, as in the very next witness testimony. Okay. Oh wait, you're only a little bit ahead. Oh, I see. Yeah. So errands and more than orders then.
This detective is still an apprentice after all.
Yeah, well, this apprentice ain't one to sit around and wait to be told what to do, even by the boss. That's why I've been doing my own investigation into what happened. I didn't find much at first, but
Bedtime for this guy here. Ah, that's a shame. Yeah. Well, thanks for dropping by, Chris. I will be trying to stream in the morning, a bit earlier over the next few days. So yeah, I don't know if I'll make a mad dash for the end. I will definitely finish it this week though. Hold it! So you went through Inspector Gregson's things. I think it usually takes me about 3 or 4 streams to get through a case in this game I've been finding, but yeah.
yep, it's part of the independent Lestrade investigation.
I'm sure your superiors would be delighted that you're taking the initiative.
So I snuck into his office when no one was about.
Hang on.
British?
Yeah, there we go.
Because if anyone at the yard seen me go in there, they'd have served me right straight out into the street.
This is sounding less like an investigation, more like something else.
The prosecution understands that it was this very detective who discovered the notebook.
You got that right. Nothing gets past Inspector Lestrade and a trusty assistant, Chief Inspector Toby. Found it hidden in his desk drawers at a false bottom.
That's impressive.
So then I went to hide myself where no one could find me, and I could have a butcher's at work written in it, because if anyone at the yard found me out, they'd have turned me straight out on the street. I've been given it an hour, alright? If it weren't for me, it would never have been found.
According to that, the boss was looking to smuggle goods in. Okay. Do you have any idea where these dealings were taking place?
Yup! It's all there in boss's notes. Let's see if I can remember.
As I already said, the illegal dealing were due to take place at the Gentleman's Club.
Yes, I remember. But I was hoping to find out the name of the club.
That won't be necessary. It's conceivable that the club might be used again by Snuggles in the future. Therefore, the prosecution has been asked not to reveal the name of these proceedings.
I know what all the fuss about. It's right here. All I gotta do is read it out. And I could too. I got this reading game buttoned up now. Can I show you what I can do? Go on, what's the arm?
The judge hasn't signaled his objection yet. I could try to find out. What should I do? Aha.
Interesting you're giving me a choice here.
I don't know if it's going to be relevant. This is a closed court. The proceedings are confidential. There shouldn't be any possibility of the information being leaked.
As I explained, there is some possibility of politicians being involved in this affair. The prosecution is rightfully exercising caution, I imagine.
The answer's always press further, yeah.
No, my lord, the prosecution has no objection.
Kazuma?
There's no question that the Inspector Gregson was looking into these blackmarking dealings. However, it's not been yet established that he was on that particular trail on the day in question. The defense requires to know the club's name. The prosecution has no intention of being obstructive.
Right, I get to show me reading skills.
told this one was gonna happen at a gentleman's club called the Grouse.
The Grouse, I know, but the Grouse Skyward Sword. We've heard this before. I've made a joke about Skyward Sword, but where did we hear it? Okay.
Hold it!
The Grouse. What sort of club is that?
I ain't got 4 years. Clubs ain't exactly my thing. But I am kind of curious.
They're not places where a foreign student like you would really be readily admitted.
Have you looked in the mirror recently?
I tell you what, me and Chief Inspector Toby could go in and go undercover.
Could you, though?
I could pick out a few good marks and see what else I could find while I was in there.
I really don't think you should go picking out anything. Anyway, that's where these black market dealings were going to take place, is it?
Yeah, it's gotta be. That's what the lower-ranking detectives at the yard reckon.
Says the even lower-ranking detective. Bruce. Why do I feel like we've definitely heard that before? Where did we hear it, though? And how is this going to be relevant? Oh! Oh my god. Oh my god. I've already inspected this. I was like, where have I heard Groose before? I'm just like, hold on. Hold on. I didn't remember. I just like, I should inspect this. You know? This dialogue's the same. It's just not letting me skip from the last, yeah. I was like, when is this piece of ticket gonna be fucking relevant? Here it is.
Objection.
I've read about these clubs that exist here in Britain. As I understand it, they're places where well-to-do gentlemen socialize with friends and colleagues.
Don't imagine for a second that a foreign student like you would be admitted.
Seriously, is your mirror cracked or something? Do we know for sure that the contraband dealings were definitely happening at a club called the Grouse? The Grouse.
The police are currently looking for evidence, but haven't found anything definitive yet.
And I'm sorry to say, that they probably won't.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that the place Inspector Gregson was secretly going to visit on the 31st of October may not have been a gentleman's club at all.
You're showing a very irreverent attitude towards our country's police force there, Counsel. If it wasn't a gentleman's club, then what was it?
A steamship.
You think it's a ship?
I have the evidence to prove it. Here.
Let me see that. This dark-suited young man is not in the least bit untrustworthy.
The other side, my lord.
Be more specific next time. This would appear to be a ticket for passage upon a steamship, yes. The SS Grouse.
Objection.
So there's a steamship named the Grouse that happens to share a name with the club. But I'm afraid to say, there's a flaw in your logic there.
How?
Look at the ticket. Notice the date of arrival in port. The ship arrived in Port of Dover on 1st of November. The day on which a sound like a gunshot was heard in Fresno Street. In other words, on the day in question here, 31st of October, when the victim was in his clandestine mansion. That ship hadn't docked yet on British shores.
Within 1 week from 31st of October. He's probably in France. That's probably what it is.
That would certainly make an undercover investigation somewhat challenging.
Objection.
The fact that the steamship hadn't yet reached Britain substantiates the defense's assertion that the victim was investigating the SS Grouse on the day in question.
Then show your evidence for that assertion.
Very well.
In that case, counsel for the defense, present your evidence to the court now. Evidence that substantiates your claim that the victim was investigating the SS Grouse on the 31st of October.
Take that!
What's this? A passport for travel issued to the victim. Dated 31st of October. What are you suggesting?
I'm just suggesting that just one day before the inspector's body was discovered, there's a distinct possibility he wasn't even in the country.
Order! Order! This document is for passage to France. It does appear to have been officially authorized.
The day before the SS Grouse arrived at Dover, it docked on the northern coast of France for a night.
According to my father, who was on board the port of Dunkirk.
Dunkirk, France. What could have possibly taken the victim there?
Ha 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 ha! I'm impressed, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
I certainly didn't expect you to get your hands on that passport.
What? You mean, you knew about this?
The prosecution's strategy for the trial has been laid down by the Crown Prosecution Office. On the day before the incident, the victim was investigating contraband dealings at a London club. That's the outcome of Scotland Yard's investigations, and the line the prosecution has been asked to follow. But personally, I don't agree. I think the prosecutor's office is trying to hide something.
What?
And now that you've expertly disproven their assertion, I intend to reveal that what I believe that something to be. What are you playing at, Prosecutor Asogi? A courtroom is a forum for the truth, my lord. Which is why it's my duty to present all the facts without exception. Let me guess, this is your intention from the outset, wasn't it? The reason Inspector Gregson secretly made his way to the steamship docked in France in the day in question was to carry out a mission for the Reaper.
The Reaper?
Order! Order! What on earth are you saying, counsel? The prosecution made an assertion in court yesterday. Inspector Gregson was investigating the identity of the Reaper. When he discovered the location of the man's secret hideout, he was killed. As I'm sure everyone can imagine, by the Reaper's hand. But in reality, the truth is the opposite of that.
What?
Inspector Gregson wasn't investigating the Reaper at all. He was in fact acting for the Reaper.
So, you're saying the mission he was undertaking was,
obviously, an assassination. Barak von Zieks never carried out any of the actual killings. Whenever the Reaper's victims lost their lives, he always had a cast iron alibi, which tells us that he must have had an accomplice. And you claim that Inspector Gregson was that accomplice?
What the hell you think you're saying, eh? My boss would have never done nothing like that.
And yet, when you consider all the facts, it all makes sense. It all makes perfect sense.
No, it can't be.
We also arrived at the same conclusion, didn't we? That Inspector Gregson was operating as the Reaper.
Even so, there's no way that the person giving him his orders
Was Lord von Zieks? No. The true Reaper is somebody else.
Barak von Zieks is not the Reaper.
Predictable response from someone who's advocating for the man.
And even if it's true that Gregson was operating as an agent of the Reaper, the suggestion that he went aboard the SS Grouse on an assassination mission doesn't follow at all.
Oh, you have some sort of reason for doubting the assertion, do you, counsel?
Absolutely. It's very simple. On the day in question, nobody was killed aboard that steamship. Professor Mikotoba and Judge Jigoko were in that very ship. If someone had been assassinated, I'm certain we would have heard about it.
What's so funny? You're right, of course. No suspicious deaths were reported aboard the ship. But I think perhaps you've missed the point.
That's precisely why Inspector Gregson himself lost his life. What? Gregson did board the SS Grass at night with the intention of dispatching his mom. But his mission ended in failure. Failure? It seemed the defense hasn't yet grasped a very important detail here. What are you talking about? What detail? Inspector Gina Lestrade. What? The victim's notebook that you read from an excerpt from doesn't contain details of a secret investigation at all. It describes the 10 years of assassination plots to be carried out by the Reaper of the Bay.
You're lying! Even all them bludgers got what taken over and had it coming. The boss was the Reaper!
Poor Gina. There's no question that Tobias Gregson was heavily involved in the Reaper's activities. You may just be an apprentice, but if you spent any time at Scotland Yard, you must have heard rumors.
I heard nothing. I don't believe a word of it.
Then testify again, as a representative of Scotland Yard. Consider it your chance to defend your boss.
Wait, I don't.
I concur the witness will give on your formal testimony. Miss Lestrade, you will tell the court everything you know about Inspector Gregson's secret notebook.
Alright. This is where you are up to, Curb, right? Excuse me.
Yeah, this notebook does have a lot of stuff about what the Reaper got up to these past 10 years. Names of victims, dates, and places and stuff. And the last entry there was 31st October. It said grouse, put a place on that date, and then the name of the mark.
You got past it, right?
There was a note about him being a criminal what got away from the Reaper couldn't court 10 years ago somehow. But honest, the boss didn't do none of it. He was just investigating the Reaper, that's all.
Keep personal opinion out of your testimony, witness. We require only established fact here.
This must be so hard for her. You can't deny it now, surely, do you, Nosuke Naruhodo? What can't I deny? The notebook contained the name of the final mark, and the location where the assassination would take place. That's information that the victim could have only known if he was working with the Reaper. Ah.
So, who was this to be this final mark?
Go ahead, Inspector Lestrade. Read the name for the court. The name that's written alongside the entry that mentions the grouse on 31st October.
How'd you read this then?
Reading's still not a strong suit.
Then the problem, right, Otto? It's a funny name, in English, it's hard to read.
So it's someone from overseas. Oh, Seishiro Jigoku, is it?
Let me have a bash at it. Seishiro, is it? Yeah, Seishiro Jigokyo, maybe?
What? It can't be. Seishiro Jigoku?
But that's Judge Jigoku.
Seishiro Jigoku, certainly not an English name. Right.
But that can't be right. I know Judge Jigoku. I saw him the day before yesterday here in London. So I know for a fact that the man hasn't been assassinated.
As I said, the Reaper had failed.
Oh.
Gregson missed his chance to kill his mark and returned to British shores, but the Reaper wouldn't tolerate the mistake, so he killed the inspector. Personally. The Reaper, of course, being the accused. Barak von Zieks. It's undeniable logical argument.
Kazuma, you planned for the trial to go this way all along, didn't you?
Hold it!
Hello. Oh, holy shit!
Pray forgive the discourtesy of filling my hallowed chalice whilst I stand accused for murder.
Lord Von Zeeks!
The accused has no right to speak uninvited in court. You will return to the dock. I say nothing of whether or not I'm the Reaper. That's the task this court has to decide. But there is one thing I can say unequivocally. That girl is no detective.
What? No, that's right, I ain't. I'm an inspector.
Repeating rumors heard around the yard. Reading entries from a notebook of unconfirmed origin. That's not testimony. It's practically a script. No doubt the rest of this trial will go exactly as you've clearly planned. Your hatred of me is understandable. In your mind, I am sure I am the Reaper who sent your father to the gallows all those years ago. But you're in danger of becoming a far more sinister Reaper yourself. By attempting to have me condemned with this feeble excuse for testimony.
Some of these trials would be a lot shorter if the defense could actually explain everything at once. Agreed.
What did you say?
Mr. Naruhodo, this is Sean.
My lord, the defense requests that the defendant be allowed to speak. He may be privy to important information relating to the testimony given to the witness. Why is that cane like... I just noticed it's like a rook and a knight chess piece. Wonder what that symbolizes.
Very well, I'll make an exception and grant the request. The defendant may remain in the witness stand for cross-examination. Then allow me to toast to the court's impartiality. Don't raise your glass in my direction, sir. Counsel for the defense, begin the cross-examination immediately.
At once, my lord. So we're gonna have to press, and then we're gonna have to pick up on, yeah.
Which one do we press?
Hold it! I reckon this one. What do you mean a criminal? Judge Shigoku is no criminal.
Why don't ask me? I know nothing about it.
Oh, do you remember what Father told us? That Judge Shigoku did appear once in court once here in Britain. As well as his professor case, I'm sure.
Yes, of course. You're right, because he lied in court.
Sesshono was trying to mitigate Genshin's guilt, so he took the stand to testify. But he got a little carried away and, actually managed to break the witness stand. He also said some contemptuous words about the British Empire, for which he was charged.
It was a pitiful situation. Yes.
Yeah. Seeing Von Zeeks in the witness there.
I'd forgotten all about it, but I prosecuted that trial too, as it happens.
You did?
It was considered to be an adjunct to the professor proceedings, you see, but he was acquitted after being told to make reparation for the damage caused to the stand.
And there you have it.
Have what?
Surely the accused hasn't forgotten his own rule. That there's no saving anyone who faces the Reaper in court, guilty or innocent alike. What? No! Are you suggesting that the recent Judge Jigoku was targeted for assassination? The man was sent back to Japan immediately after that trial. The Reaper had no time to do his work. But then, 10 years later, the mark returns to Britain once more. Perhaps now you start to see just how vindicative the Reaper is. Come on, that's absurd to take someone's life for that.
Isn't the whole premise of the Reaper absurd, killing those who have been found innocent? Clearly the rules by which the man operates are beyond the sane person's comprehension. But...
Hold it!
Alright.
So you have complete faith
That Inspector Gregson is innocent in all of this.
Of course I do. I mean, I owe him that, don't I? Because he's the only one who had faith in me.
Gina,
There was a promise me he did. He promised me that even though I was made just a diver, he could turn me into a top-notch detective. A cool with a guy like that ain't gonna go and rob people of their futures, is he?
Every single person killed by the Reaper was a criminal of the First Order. Lowlifes like that have no compunction about robbing hundreds of others of their futures. Their ludicrous acquittals in court give them the freedom to make hundreds more suffer.
Wait, I don't.
So what? You justified your actions because you were protecting innocent people's futures. I'm not suggesting that the Reaper's methods are justified at all. But life isn't black and white. That's all I'm saying.
So that's what we have to work with.
may help us that Lord Van Six understand too.
Yes, perhaps. I'm sure Gina knows nothing she hasn't already told us. There's no point in trying to get more out of her.
Did you notice how Cosmo somehow reacted to Lord Van Six's words?
When you called him an even more sinister Reaper, you mean? Well, I'm sure Cosmo intends to eliminate any shred of doubt that the man is guilty. He's looking for revenge against the person he considers to be his father's killer, after all.
I do worry that if we fail to find a discrepancy in this testimony somewhere, the trial may end, and adjudication won't go in our favour. Let's listen carefully again to what everybody is saying.
Alright, I have to keep pressing.
Hold it!
In other words, it shows that Gregson was basically acting as the Reaper.
Not you, oh! There, the only explanation is it! He could have been investigating the Reaper in secret. And then look at what we found here. He found out.
If I may, when originally people began referring to me as the Reaper, I didn't object. I believed that the power to intimidate London's criminal classes into compliance with the law to be beneficial.
But you carried out your own investigations into the true identity of the Reaper, didn't you?
Yes. And those investigations proved conclusively that Gregson was one arm of the Reaper.
What arm? What are you on about?
The Reaper's victims were all extremely shrewd criminals at the top of their game. There's simply no way one person could have taken them on alone. The Reaper is an organization with you at its head. I had spies at the yard, keeping me abreast of Gregson's movements, letting me know when he was elsewhere. So I'd been able to check the most recent entry in his book. I knew the location.
You know, it said grouse.
Believing it to be a reference to the Gentleman's Club, I went there on the day in question to investigate alone.
Ah, so that explains why several members of the club plan to have seen you there.
But of course, the inspector was not there.
Because at the time, he was making his way to the steamship docked on the northern coast of France, as shown by the passport found in the victim's metal trunk. Very well then, back to your testimony about the contents of the note.
Wait!
Is something wrong, Mr. Naruhodo? You seemed a little shocked by something at the moment ago.
Oh, no, it's alright. I'm overthinking this, aren't I? I think it's the last thing I need to present something on. Names of victims, dates, places, and stuff. What in particular?
Well, besides the victim's name, this other name kept cropping up.
What other name was that?
It's the one I told you yesterday. The same name, but over and over again.
You mean Asashin?
Yeah, that's the one. He's a friend of yours or something, isn't he?
Were you even listening yesterday?
Asashin, the assassin.
God, this fucking dialogue. And it comes out of Van Ziezel thing.
What, like a killer, you mean?
Gregson was the tactician, the one who came up with the plan of attack. He investigated the marks thoroughly, finding out when they would be vulnerable and who to use to get at them. But the person actually executing his plans was someone else, you're saying? If that's the truth, then the Reaper does indeed start to sound like an organized group of vigilantes.
Ah, then perhaps what is said on the passport document. Permission for the applicant and one additional person to travel. Could that additional person have been?
Clearly the assassin, who was meant to take Seishiro Jigoku's life.
Gina, can you confirm that against the final entry that listed Grouse and Seishiro Jigoku? What name was written?
Oh, well, that's the only entry that didn't have a name next to it, as it happens.
What?
It just had like a question mark or something, I think.
In other words, Gregson himself didn't know the identity of the assassin in that case. But Gregson was the one making the plans, was he not?
Oh, how infuriating.
A nameless assassin? Because that means I pressed everything.
Hold it!
I think. No, I haven't. You're saying the mark was Seishiro Jigoku.
That's what I said. Funny name, if you ask me. I think your name was Otto.
It's Yin. So please sir, I've lost my crown there. Yeah.
Mr. Jigoku is the presiding judge of Japan's Supreme Court of Judicature. I remember the man. He came to our country as a visiting student 16 years ago. Studying international law and diplomacy under your tutelage, my Lord Strongheart. That bearded young fellow is a very able man, I must say.
So Lord Strongheart was Judge Jigoku's mentor.
If I'm not mistaken, he returned to Japan 10 years ago now.
10 years ago, after that fateful case.
Precisely. In the aftermath of the Professor case, his reparation was organized immediately. It's a mystery why such a man would be listed in the inspector's notebook.
I didn't think it was possible, but the murderers got it even worse now. Maybe I'll just keep talking.
Who's objecting?
What? I've just had enough about this.
Gina, I guess I have to press every statement.
All this nonsense about the boss planning to kill people, it's cobblers. Come on.
Yes?
Why are you saying nothing? Why aren't you yelling out? Objection or something?
What?
You got a fine floor. You do usually British. Someone's lying here, no question. You got work, who it is? Please, for the boss.
That outburst was an insult to the court in your testimony. I might have known that a common pickpocket from the Bastions couldn't make a detective. When this trial's over, you forfeit your work, Miss Lestrade. Is that clear?
Oh, I'm out with a lot of you. It's lies every bleeding place you look in this world, ain't it? We've had enough.
Gina.
So have I. After that little speech of Gina's, I've made up my mind.
To do what, Mr. Naruhodo?
There was one point in this cross-examination when something that said just didn't sit right with me. One statement that seemed odd.
Oh, do you mean?
I'm not going to let Gina's plea for help fall on deaf ears. Gotta find a flaw somewhere. Hold it! I want to thank you, Gina. You helped me find my resolve. What do you mean? Amongst everything we've heard during this cross-examination, there's one thing that defies explanation. One inconsistency.
What? An inconsistency?
Really? Uh-oh? I don't quite know what it means yet, but... yes, there's an inconsistency in something that was said by... now, I believe it was Gina who said it, but I'm going to double check. Wait, I can't actually check. Shit, let me rewind the VOD then. I forget who it was. Was it Van Zieks or was it Gina? I think it was Van Zieks actually. As shown by the passport and found in the victim. No, it's. I think it's Kazuma then. I think it's Kazuma, yeah.
Take that!
Yeah, cool. By you, Kazuma Asogi.
Me? Is this some attempt at filibustering, counsel? Prosecutor Asogi has given no testimony.
What are you suggesting? I said that was inconsistent. You let something slip that you shouldn't have. When I present the relevant piece of evidence, I imagine you'll realize what you've done.
Very well then, counsel, go ahead. What evidence reveals this alleged inconsistency in something Prosecutor Asogi has said? So, my initial impressions were correct. This is nonsense.
Really? Clearly. The Ryunosuke Naruhodo I knew was dead! Struck down by my best friend.
I believe what you intended to point out, Mr. Naruhodo, was when Kazuma said...
At the time, he was making his way to the steamship dock on the northern coast of France. Oh, it must be shown by the passport found in the victim's truck. Oh no, it must be the trunk. Oh, it's the trunk. How does he know it was found in the trunk?
Take that!
This is a trunk that belonged to the Inspector Gregson.
A metal construction, is it? It's very certainly heavy. What's this? A blood stain. A relatively fresh one, too.
What? You mean there ain't grease from all the Boston fish and chips?
Fresh blood on the inspector's trunk. That suggests the victim was traveling with the luggage when he was killed. That can't be. There was no mention of any trunk in Scotland in your report.
Yes, there's a reason for that. Immediately after the inspector's body was discovered, one of the street peddlers made off with the trunk, hoping to sell it. But I found it with me trouble. With me nose for trouble. Which means nobody should have known anything about the trunk. Unless, of course, we're talking about somebody who was present when the victim was killed. And yet, during the cross-examination of the witness just now, you said this, cousin. Because at the time he was making way to the steamship dock on the northern coast of France, as shown by the passport found in the victim's metal trunk. There it is.
So the question is, how did you know about the inspector's trunk?
We know the man went on a trip to France. Where else would he have put his passport?
Objection! But you knew it was a metal trunk. Answer me honestly, Kazuma. On 31st October, where exactly were you?
At the port of Dunkirk on board the SS Grouse. Is that the answer you're looking for, Ryunosuke?
Kazuma, what did you... I hadn't considered the possibility before, but if Kazuma was there on the ship, then it can only have been for one purpose.
Oh no, Mr. Naruto. Surely don't think.
Ha 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 ha! Come on, Ryunosuke, you know the rules. The only thing that really talks in the courtroom is hard evidence. As I understand it, Inspector Gregson always took that case with him when he traveled. So as it stands, you've proved nothing. Kazuma, are you challenging me to prove it beyond all reasonable doubt? That you were there that day, in the same place as the inspector?
He was there with Gregson.
There's a chance you've overlooked a secret trunk that can tell us. Wait. A secret that trunk can tell us. But I have a nasty feeling that I'm going to be right. Oh, I know.
The accusation being made is deeply disturbing, but nevertheless we must test it. The defense will identify for the court where in the trunk this alleged clue is to be found.
I'm hoping this counts.
Got it!
This is your proof.
Oh my god, do I have to open the trunk and inspect it?
Tying the fence to the truck and tossing in the ocean. At least that way, the courtroom would say from Mr. Stucker of accusation.
Well, those are rather long-winded way of telling me that you're wrong, Mr. Naruto.
Very well. Let us see if you sink or swim under the weight of this penalty council.
Ah!
Mr. Naruto, you can't allow yourself to be there and don't see yet.
I already gave you this hint. Yeah, I know.
Do I have to actually open it and then point it out, really? Do I have to inspect it beyond all reasonable doubt? Let's have a look inside. I guess I do. Do you see that? There's something stuck in the side of the trunk there. It's glinting. I pointed it out earlier. You're saying I had to open the trunk to point it out? I guess so. It's gonna be from Karuma.
Got it!
There we go. There's a small piece of metal lodged in the wall of the trunk here, like the tip of a blade. What? A blade? Kazuma, as long around your waist as ever today. I can't see the thing in there with the trunk closed. It's the esteemed blade Karuma.
Of course it is.
Won't you draw it here in this courtroom
For all to see. Exercise caution, my learned friend. That man is the son of London's most notorious killer. Bailiff, watch Prosecutor Asogi like a hawk. That won't be necessary.
Yeah.
Oh no!
The tip is broken. If the fragment of metal from the trunk fits together with the end of the sword, the question of who was there and with Inspector Gregson will be answered. Agreed, Kazuma Sogi. Expertly done, Ryunosuke. That's a point to you and well deserved.
Do you mean to tell the court, Prosecutor Asogi?
Yes, on 31st of October, I accompanied Inspector Gregson to Dunkirk in order to carry out a mission. So the additional person authorized to travel was me.
And the mission was?
The assassination of the monk. What? What? You mean
You're the killer whose name was omitted from this notebook? You were following the Reaper's orders to dispatch Judge Jigoku. Let me make one thing perfectly clear. I have killed no one.
Explain.
I accepted the assassination mission, yes, and accompanied Gregson to Dunkirk, but never had any intention of carrying out the plan. You were never going to do it.
I can believe Kazuma-sama. I'm sure. After all, Judge Jigoku arrived safely in London the following day.
On the 31st of October, I boarded a train from London with Inspector Gregson. We travelled to Dover, from where we crossed the channel to Dunkirk. Then we boarded the SS Grouse and made for the cabin deck, as indicated in the plan.
You went to Judge Jigoku's cabin?
Exactly. He wasn't in there, though. We decided to wait, but you've already told us you had no intention of going through with it anyway. I didn't come to Great Britain to take anyone's life. So I left Gregson and disembarked on the ship. I spent a night at the boarding house in the town and returned to England the following morning. A boarding house in Dunkirk. My signature will be there in the register book. It would be simple enough to verify.
Then, what became of Jigoku?
Gregson was no assassin, so the mark was spared. I'm sure it's easy enough to imagine what happened after that. Gregson returned to England. Having failed to complete the mission, he met with the Reaper in that room on Fresno Street to report the failure, causing the infuriated mastermind to pull the trigger and end his wretched agent's life. Okay. That's the real truth behind Inspector Gregson's murder.
Objection!
But if you did nothing, as you claim, how did the tip of your sword come to be lodged in the inspector's trunk?
I don't need to answer that. The victim was killed by a gunshot. A small fragment of a Japanese blade isn't relevant to the case. And accordingly, I chose to exercise my right to silence on that matter.
Be that as it may, the court will sequester the sword as evidence.
As you wish, my lord. Okay.
We must take immediate action now.
Hold on. Karuma, the great blade. It's such a thing of beauty, I want to gaze on it for hours. The tip, yeah. The tip of the great sword. Broken. It's such a shame, it's been so meticulously cared for over the years. I can almost hear Karuma's sobs. Kazuma must have really taken a swing for that to happen. Anything else to inspect? I don't think so. Yeah, I think that's it. What else is there to inspect on a sword?
To verify whether Seishiro Jigoku remains unharmed.
What? Remains unharmed? I agree, that should be our first priority. It's recently come to my attention that he hasn't been seen since yesterday. How did you... When a foreign dignitary invited to Great Britain goes missing for 24 hours, it's only natural that the question of his safety should arise. You don't mean to say that you think Judge Jigoku may have been killed? The Reaper has more than one assassin at his disposal, and he has the power and influence to give orders from the inside of the prison cell. Isn't that right, Lord Van Zieks?
If I were truly the Reaper, I'd be able to tell you. Order! Order in the court! Order! We will take an emergency recess for 30 minutes.
Now?
Guests of the symposium has been told to maintain regular contact with the organizer's office. If the man can't be located within half an hour, we will have to assume the worst.
Oh no, not Chochigoku.
No one would want to kill a harmless, Japanese man who'd only just arrived in the country. Except, that is, for the Reaper, wanting to finish off a mark that slipped through the net 10 years ago. I would have to agree. Mr. Naruhodo, for the defense's sake,
My lord.
I sincerely hope that we are successful. If we are unable to confirm Mr. Jigoku's healthy existence in the next 30 minutes, you will face grave difficulty.
Ah,
Court is adjourned for 30 minutes.
to be continued.
Kazuma-sama, the Reaper's assassination. The Reaper's assassin feels as I'm in a nightmare.
I can hardly believe it either. But on the other hand, Kazuma isn't in the habit of making up stories.
I have such a terrible sense of foreboding. If something awful has happened to Chochigoku, then it feels as though things will only spiral further and further out of control.
I felt it from the moment I stepped into the courthouse this morning, that strange sensation that we were careering toward a foregone conclusion. Well, in the worst case, we might only have 30 minutes left. Unfortunately though, I don't think there's anything we can do but wait now. We're out of options.
Actually, there may be one last hand we can play. Or rather, one last year.
Of course, I still haven't inspected this. It's in the court record, right?
What a charming little rabbit version of Mr. Sholmes. You suppose this is how Iris sees him? Are you right, Miss Naruhodo? Your eyes are veritably boring the poor doll's ears.
Oh, sorry, I was just wondering. What do you suppose would happen if I were to tug its ears with all my might right now?
Sure that we'll find out. When the time is right, you'll become a proper gentleman. You must really learn to stoic patient.
But I want to know! I don't see anything otherwise, so yeah, it's gonna be story tied. Little Mr. Sholmes stole that Iris gave us.
If for some reason you completely run out of options in the trial today, then just pull this little Hurley's ears as hard as you possibly can.
Perhaps now's the time. What should I do? Pull Haley's ears or not? Do I have a choice? I feel like it's not quite the time yet, but like... it feels too early. But I feel like they wouldn't be bringing it up if I don't pull it now, you know? Huh. Okay. I'll pull it. Here goes then. I'm going to do it.
Good luck, Mr. Naruhodo.
No looking back. Heave! Ow! That scream. Sound like Mr. Sholmes. Ow! Mr. Sholmes, where are you?
Here, my dear fellow, here!
It's the fellow talking.
Pull the ears again, Mr. Naruhodo, as hard as you can.
Alright then, I'll put all my strength into it. Heave!
Ow! Please, my dear fellows, you don't need to pull my ear off.
Mr. Sholmes, where are you?
Myself and my trusty partner,
SS Birdia? Of the SS Grouse, okay.
are presently in the first-class cabin area of the SS Grouse, conveniently reusing assets from the SS Birdia last case.
Probably just loops until you do, yeah. The SS Grouse.
She left over last night after the final pieces of cargo were loaded. We're currently docked at Dunkirk, but due to be underway again in half an hour.
You've taken a ship to France? Please, even with my athletic prowess, I would struggle to jump the Strait of Dover. After we left Baker Street last night, we hurried by cab to the station and train to the port, in order to board this vessel in time.
So, you mean, you'd already worked it out? The steamship was where everything really took place?
Mr. Naruhodo, pray, what is my name?
Sherlock Holmes, famous great detective.
Recited to perfection, well done.
You're a genius, Mr. Sholmes. That's the only word for it.
Ow, 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 ow! Miss Susato, gently with this genius's ear, please.
Oh my, I'm ever so sorry.
If I may, Sholmes.
Ah, there you are, Mikotoba.
You may remember that it was in fact I who made the connection to the SS Grabs. At Scotland Yard yesterday, we examined the notebook that recalled my steamship ticket.
Ah ha ha ha! I don't know why he puts out his ear when he'll pull it. Yeah, I know.
But of course it was, my dear fellow. And not once did I controvert that fact. I merely had our court-bound companions onto my name.
Yes, you did, didn't you?
We just entered a recess. A recess. The trial resumes in 30 minutes from now.
And we're finally able to present any new leads, and I'm afraid to say...
Do not fret, please. It's for precisely that purpose that my partner and I have made the journey. I have no doubt we shall have welcome news for you within the half hour.
Thank you, Mr. Sholmes. That would be wonderful.
Until later, then.
You just use Sada's voice for father speaking. Did I?
Yes, you did, didn't you?
Oh, my bad. You'll be hearing us from us if not in touch first.
Ow, ow, ow! I shan't be hearing anything if you keep tugging my ear in that mindless fashion. Whatever was the idea of making receiver operate in that way in the first place, Holmes? Why the deuce would I know? It's Iris's invention, not mine.
So we're playing from Mikotoba's perspective then.
Whilst I would know how much you enjoy being the hero, whilst I know how much you enjoy being the hero of our hour, Holmes, we have about half an hour now before the grouse puts to sea again. We don't conclude our investigations rapidly, we shall find ourselves in Naples before long. There are times, Mikotoba, when you make a surprising amount of sense.
So let us begin. Did I predict the perspective change as well? I was like, I thought it'd be Kazuma, but I was gonna say like, wouldn't be, I feel like there'd be no point in doing perspective change in the last chapter of the game. No. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Oh my god. It's this guy again. Has he grown his hair since last time?
First class cabin number 2, yes, this is the one. But I don't believe an investigation of the cabin is going to be plain sailing.
Well, you need to investigate the ship somehow, yeah, of course.
That crewman standing in front of the door saying angry looking further.
You know what would have been great? A perspective change of Van 6.
Why are you rootling here? Who are you? My dear fellow, do you not recognize a world-famous great detective when you see one? The question is really ought to be, who are you? Do you not recognize Walter, a great sailor, Chicken Stroganoff, when you see?
Oh no, it's his, Sholmes is on his arm. And this is a different guy, because the last one was Biff Stroganoff. This is Chicken Stroganoff.
Great detective, ha! I don't think so. Do you see that, Mikotoba? It would appear that this man is a devoted follower of mine. Goodness me, is that true? That says Sholmes, I must say why such an adoration is flattering naturally. It does leave me a little cold. What are you talking about? Leave now! How distressing, my loyal devotee knows me only by name and not appearance. And yet, I really know a great deal about you, sir. You have a brother, I believe. Like yourself, he is a shipman. Currently traveling the world aboard a Russian steamship, in fact. Oh, how could you know this? Elementary, my dear Mikotoba. I'm sure it was. 3 days ago, I was bound for London aboard the ship, you see. We're looking for one of my fellow passengers. A man by the name of Jigo. There is no one with that name on the board. But we know he purchased a ticket for passage. Ah, you mean Eastern Man? He left ship 2 hours ago. Here at Dunkirk, he said something about emergency, I think.
What?
Are you sure? So says you're realized what happened, has he?
His cabin is the one behind you. We should like to investigate, please.
No! I have orders not to even let mouse inside.
Mikotoba, be a good man and draw the sailor's attention away, would you? Make out some excuse that he leaves the area. Doesn't great detectives see that even sailors have ears both left and right?
Curses! The plan is ruined! You have only yourself to blame, I'm afraid, Jones.
Forget it. Cabin door is locked. Even if I am not here, you cannot get inside. Mikotoba, I'm sure you haven't forgotten my special talent, have you?
Opening any lock.
Within a mere 5 seconds. So if you're kind to afford me the requisite time, old friend, you're typically accommodating in the matter.
How could I refuse such a typically unappealing request, old friend? So I need to distract the belly sailor for 5 seconds, shall I?
Good man. So, the game is afoot.
This would appear to be an alarm bell. All hell would break loose if that thing were to ring. The whole crew would know about it.
Set it off.
Here goes then. Pardon me in advance.
You, what are you doing?
If you hear tea, that would be a very bad problem.
What's going on down there, Seaman Stroganoff? Report at once. Sorry, sir, nothing to report. It was just stupid trick. No, not what I mean by world famous. No, as I told you.
Now, Shums, now.
Done.
Not even 5 seconds, eh? Well, don't just stand there gulping up everything. Pick it over, in we go. Oh, yes.
This is cool. I really like this.
Good gracious.
It would appear that the occupant of this cabin did indeed disembark rather hurriedly. Those clothes on the floor there,
those clothes on the floor there, they're sexuals without question.
Well, it seems we are just a little too late.
Yes, perhaps about 2 hours.
Still, whilst we're here, we should investigate thoroughly. There may be well 2 hours worth of clues we find in here.
But the burly crewman may return any moment, Mr. Scholes.
Indeed he may. Which makes this all the more thrilling.
According to the report I was given, Naruhodo was concealing himself in Asogi's wardrobe.
Indeed he was, and it was of similar size to this one. Ah, you must climb inside yourself, my dear fellow.
What? Whatever for?
It was the site of my first fateful meeting with Mr. Naruhodo. You can experience the moment for yourself now, complete with my dramatic rhetoric. Come on along now. In you go. This will only take a moment.
Really, Sean, surely you can just tell what...
Tell me what you said. Well, I did some brilliant remark and opened the wardrobe to reveal the stowaway murderer.
I think I'll just read about in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
Hello.
There's a speaking tube here, look, though it's been stopped with some cloth. So the voices of a criminal on bridge annoyance, I suppose.
Oh, indeed, so the voices in this cabin aren't heard elsewhere.
Could something that happened here, though, to no one else's ears, do you think?
Either that, or it could be to prevent snakes from entering.
That's really become a favorite case of yours, hasn't it?
Quite the exquisite glass, I must say. See here how it's...
Is something wrong, Shams? You suddenly trailed off.
Ice, Mikotoba, ice. What opulence does first-class passengers enjoy? Chilled drinks.
Pardon?
Could it be that the steamship is equipped with an electrically refrigerated cold room, do you think?
Well, it is a luxury line after all. They have enormous refrigerators for storing all sorts of lavish produce as well as ice. On our voyage from Japan, we enjoyed culinary delights from all over the world. Suddenly, Mikotoba, the sight of you is making my mouth water.
Ice, right. We're looking for a refrigerator to store Gregson's body.
I haven't taken the flavor of the food I ate, you know. This is the waste paper basket, look! And there's still rubbish inside. Indeed? Then let us pry. I've discovered recently I have a penchant for exploring the contents of others' waste paper baskets. I sincerely hope for you only for your work. Here we have a notice issued to passengers from 3 days ago. 3 days ago, the night before we arrived in London, then. When I was still aboard myself.
Following the departure from Port of Dunkirk, all crew members are required to assemble on the main deck at 10 p.m. Oh, wow. I didn't even get the chance to read that. Hold on. You can read that. That's fine. To assemble on the main deck at 10 p.m. in order to review evacuation procedures, the drill will take 20 minutes. Crew to resume duties after the drill is over. That's probably when he was killed, perhaps.
For our safety and security, all first-class passengers were constantly under the watchful eye of the crew. So it's a welcome relief to have some privacy for once.
Ah, well, yeah. I can read it now.
These are the rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. Additionally, there are severe punishments for stowing away in wardrobes and/or travel cases. I feel the roofs have increased since I last read them. Probably just my imagination. What about the fact that they're not straight on the wall? Doesn't it strike you? You may be right. Probably just your imagination, though, a trifle. And you know what I always say, Mikotoba. There is nothing important about trifles. Probably just my imagination, but I think that might be slightly off.
Hold on. Let me see if I can get that as a thumbnail. But I think ideally I'd get a Mikotoba thumbnail, but we'll see. I fucking missed it. Let me try again. I don't know if I got it, but we'll see. Check all the clothes now.
That's a substantial heap of clothes on the floor. And overcoats, shirts, dressing gown. Momohiki work trousers, a Tanzen robe, Momohiki work trousers, Tanzen robe, Haramaki waistband, clearly the clothing of a Japanese man. And clearly, Japanese men are unaccustomed to the culture of the wardrobe. It looks to me as if they've been thrown in a heap like that, or something of a hurry. Indeed, you could help yourself to a Japanese man's shirt, perhaps. I'm sure you made mention of packing too few. I'd likely very drown in one of Seichiro's shirts. No, I'll buy any extras I need, I think.
Check the wardrobe.
That's a very sizable trunk indeed. Seichiro is partial to all things large. And a rather clumsy fellow, if you failed to notice he'd left that behind. Perhaps he left it on purpose. It's lighter than you might think, but still a hindrance to a speedy escape. Pity. It's locked, so we can't look inside.
Oh, wait, I'm fucking mixing up the voices.
Pity. It's locked, so we can't look inside.
Huh.
Surely 5 seconds from now, the situation will be quite different, though. Sadly not. It is a 7-digit combination lock. And I'm not in a morose enough mood to work through all the combinations present. Plenty of reading material to keep passengers occupied on long sea voyages. I found the mix of classic register and easy reading to be most satisfactory, I must say. Whoever stocked this bookcase was a hopeless heretic. There's no copy of the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, my dear fellows. I'm afraid it's just me, but no, you're quite right. More blasphemous than overlooking the Bible. I shall just leave a copy behind. I just happen to have one with me. You're a true missionary of the great Church of Great Detectives, aren't you?
Okay. Oh, was there blood on that sign, or was that just a red frame? Anyway.
The wall is slightly different color just yet, do you see?
Indeed, what you have observed, the rest of a frame that has been hanging for some time is removed.
Perhaps your friend is an art thief. Now there's a bold deduction worthy of a great detective, I'm sure.
He may very well be the elusive thief who has been plaguing France's galleries of late.
Think perhaps we should focus our attentions elsewhere, Sholmes, don't you? That outline on the wall. It feels as though I might have spotted something of a similar shape and size elsewhere.
Sir?
You are Stolini here? Ah, able seaman Stroganoff, hello again.
I was beginning to think that you'd never materialize.
You are waiting for me.
Of course, I was expecting you to burst in with a hearty Russian profanity for Asura. I was in trouble, Captain, because trick you played before.
Poor innocent chicken.
It's all your fault.
Ship is leaving port soon. Get off now.
Of course, we shall disembark presently, my dear fellow. But first, there is something that must be done.
What are you talking about?
Why, naturally, the debunking of your deceit and the barring of the truth.
Kakoi!
Oh god. Another deduction? I'm afraid I see through your lies. For one thing, Mr. Jigoku has not left this vessel at all.
Oh.
And for another, my dear seaman Stroganov. You know exactly where the man is even as we speak, don't you?
How can you? Good gracious, Sholmes, you mean you've worked it out, all of it?
It's really been too long, hasn't it, old friend? 10 years, no less. So, would you care to join me for a dance by inimitable logic and reasoning?
Nothing would please me more!
What is this? We have but minutes until the vessel puts to sea. No games now. Time is of the essence. Mr. Stroganov, allow me to remind you of your earlier claim. You told us that Jigoku left the ship 2 hours ago.
Ah, that is what I said!
Sadly, that was a rather clumsy lie. You see, there is something in this room that quite clearly contradicts it.
What? Ah, yes, of course.
I see you've noted it too, Mikoto, then please do take the lead. What's in this cabin shows the impossibility of Jigoku having disembarked 2 hours ago. Oh my god. This actually feels like a reunion of like two really old friends, and how does the game do it? This doesn't feel like they're just throwing it at us out of nowhere, even though it really is just like, oh my god. Holy shit, this game is so fucking good. What the fuck? Let's see then what the last 3 years have done to your observational skills then, Mikotoba.
It's been 10 years since we last did this, Sholmes, not 3.
Why, of course it has, quite. Even change the music, yeah. We heard the song earlier on, but yes. Now all the clues are here in this cabin for your eyes to see. But as I always say, you must not merely look, but observe. Observe and the answers become clear. So, impress me.
I think I can manage that.
Take that!
Oh my god. Holy shit.
Perhaps you should have cleared away that glass.
How curious that the ice shouldn't have melted despite it being abandoned 2 hours ago.
Oh.
I have no idea why he tapped answers. It's fucking cool, that's why. It would appear that the man in here was
was here in this very cabin until moments before our arrival. With this well-chilled glass in hand. Get your mind after the refreshment, Sholmes. One might even conclude that somebody informed him of our boarding. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Stroganoff? But why would Shishiro run from us? Before we consider that question, allow me to confirm one small matter. Would I be correct in saying that these first-class cabins in the SS groups are the same ones in which you and Mr. Jigoku accommodated your voyage on your voyage to Japan? That's right, they are. I was in the cabin next to one session. It was, yes, 50 days in this very cabin during our voyage. As I suspected, for you see, there are traces in this cabin of a dark secret that Mr. Jigoku had to hide. What traces? I know nothing about these. This is news to you, is it, Mr. Stroganoff? Sholmes, what exactly are you getting at? As I said, there are traces in this cabin of some nefarious activity.
What's this? Yeah, oh my god, you're right. His silhouette makes him look like a final boss. A Fire Emblem final boss, honestly.
Something that appears out of place, which I'm quite sure wouldn't have escaped your notice. Something out of place in here. That's the key to this, Mikotoba. The remnants of the dark deed that took place in here are being masked by something quite incongruous. I must say, I didn't foresee ever doing this dance of deduction with you again, Mikotoba.
Sekiro? Yeah, that's true.
No, quite, but life is full of unexpected twists and turns, as we all know. Now then, let's see if I can't uncover the truth here. Yes, you have the floor, my dear fellow.
Take that!
It's the rules of passions in the frame here. They're obviously out of place. The way they're hanging crooked on the wall, as if they were put there in a hurry. Yes, as I'm sure you've already concluded. That frame was originally over there. The shape and size are a perfect match. You are right. When did flame move? Hardly the most observant of the crewmen, are you, Mr. Stroganoff? I think your captain is quite justified in having his reservation about future light up. Oh yeah, that really seemed to touch a nerve. So, Mikotoba, why'd you lift that frame off the wall?
Oh, fuck.
That looks like a bullet hole. What? Who has been shooting walls? I see. The projectile has been removed. Clearly the careful occupant of this room has already disposed of it. Now then, Mr. Stroganoff. I have the distinct impression that you're attempting to shield said occupant. I don't know what you're talking about. Why would I try to protect Eastern stranger? So we're talking about the same man, I see. Good. I'm sure we can get to the bottom of this in no time. Can't you? Because there's some very noteworthy evidence that explains the reason why you're lying for the man. Yes, you've been told to keep up this pretense. It's clearly shown by... I really don't know how to approach this one, Sholmes. My dear Mikotoba, simply first keep first principle in mind. Study your subject from every angle, and I'm quite sure that you'll see it. In fact, I put a wager on it. So I'm to glad the fellow from all sides, I can certainly do that.
Take that!
Okay.
It's almost too obvious for words. Quite. The universal language of the world. Money. And I wager that the Ethan Feather in question is Seishiro Jigoku, yes? So, I presume you realize what this means. There are clear signs that a crime has been committed in this cabin. And the way you're going, sir, you'll find yourself accused of being an accomplice.
But,
I believe you know, Mr. Stroganoff. You know where Mr. Jigoku is hiding at this precise moment in time. As always, Mikotoba, in matters of deduction, the furtive glance is your unfaltering ally. Yes, I think you're onto something there, Sholmes. You found the chink in this burly fellow's armor. We not only find the man's gaze to find where our prey is hiding.
So I wasn't home when he went live. Welcome back. You made it for the best scene in the game. This is so fucking raw. Holy shit. Hey, May, welcome.
The slightest flick of the pupils, merely a minutely delayed blink. Nothing escapes my attention, even that which is barely perceptible. You could hardly call this barely perceptible, Sholmes. The man's turned his entire head. It's not exactly what you describe as a furtive glance. It's almost too obvious. We should let your tapping toes decide, my dear fellow.
Take that!
Wait, I fucked up. Oh, it's in the clothes. Wait, why did I do that? Why did I fucking do that?
Mikotoba, no games now with my words, were they not?
I don't know why I did that. I just like turned off my brain. He's hiding in the trash can.
That was a close shave. I better rethink that before I'm the fool here.
Not even the clothes. It's the trunk.
Take that!
You turned immediately to look at this large trunk, didn't you? The truth is, Seishiro Jigoku was unable to escape from the shipment time, and is, at this very moment, doing his best to stifle his breath inside this trunk. If he stores a breath to take, I think he may be running dangerously low on air. Imagine he didn't count on us making a nuisance of ourselves for quite so long. I think it would be in everyone's best interest for us to open the trunk as quickly as possible. But how can we? Are you forgetting about the combination? What are the 7-digit code? The combination lock can't be opened inside from inside the trunk.
Wait. It's Sholmes. The 7-digit code is Sholmes, and we're gonna have to use yeah, that's what it is. It's on its own.
Therefore, there must have been an arrangement for somebody to open it after our departure. Of course. In short, before Jigoku hid himself inside the truck, he must have told someone to set it and nudge him for the lock. And I'm sure you can confirm, Mr. Stroganoff. No, I know nothing about combination code. Don't move a muscle, good seaman. Now, Mikotoba, would you do the honors and open the trunk?
How on earth do you expect me?
It's a 7-digit number, remember. Quickly now, we have little time.
So, Sholmes. Oh, I get it. Is it that? Is that what we're looking at, maybe? I could be wrong.
Take that!
I think I'm wrong.
No, it's refusing to open. Tell me, what number did you use? Well, to begin with, I thought I'd try my birthday. Your birthday? Interesting. Since as of today, with that absurd guesswork, you're dead to me. As measured as ever in response, Miss Sholmes.
Oh, it's upside down then. So 5, 0, 3, 1. I got it backwards. 5, 0, 3, 1, 0, 4, 5. Gotcha. Yeah, it's backwards. Okay. So funny that it looks like short. So 5, 0. I'm guessing it's 0. No, it's 5. Is that a 2? Hang on. No, that has to be a 0. There's nothing else that's like 0. Like, is that a 5? What is that? Anyway, this is 3. 1, 0, 4. think 5, yeah. Then what's the 6? There's no 6 here. Meant to be a 2? I think it's meant to be a 2, actually.
Take that!
Yeah, cool.
That did it. It's open. You had to meddle, didn't you? Well, Eugen, you found me now. Seishiro. I was really hoping beyond hope not to find you here, you know? But you're not entirely unsurprised, I take it? No, quite. I just wish it were some other way. Well, are you ever going to introduce me? Your reputation precedes you, Mr. Sholmes. I've read stories of many of your exploits. Excuse my manner, Sholmes. This is Mr. Jigoku, my old friend and traveling companion. The devil is in the details, Mikotoba. I believe you meant to say your old friend and traveling companion. You made the cowardly decision to flee the country without a word to anyone when things turned sour. I see my reputation precedes me as well. What an honor. Well, Seishiro, are you going to explain all this? You know it all by now, I imagine. What you don't know, of course, is that 3 days ago, on the night before our arrival in Britain, an attempt was made on my life here in this very ship. By the Reaper of the Bailey. Yes, I've since heard. Because you were once prosecuted by the Reaper, weren't you? 10 years ago now, mind you. And I had no idea at the time what a dangerous individual he was. Anyway, when we arrived in London to find the symposium postponed until goodness knows when, it became all too apparent to me that I might very well be targeted again. So you decided to flee the capital without saying a word to me about it? I'm afraid so, yes. Of course, I realize now that I really ought to have confided in you.
Who's speaking?
It's somewhat surprising, I must say. What is? Well, first-class cabins aboard luxury steamshots are very short in supply. It's more than a little hard to believe that this one just happened to be available. So it's just the protagonist of some colorful short stories. Well, I don't care for your opinion. The cabin just happened to be available, so I purchased a ticket, and here I am. I've just seen for myself how the obvious remnants of that incident in this cabin. So you've already purchased a return ticket before we even docked in Dover, had you? Prevent anyone else taking this cabin and seeing the evidence, is that it? Eugen, I have nothing to say to you. Well, in a mere 5 minutes, the ship will set off to onward voyage and not make port until Italy. I'm afraid we must insist that you disembark with us at once. You have no jurisdiction over my movements. We have this, Seishiro. Take it. What is it? It's a subpoena from the Old Bailey. You're a man of the law. You know what the ramifications of ignoring a document like this from the British courts would be. You came prepared then, Eugen. Come on, let's go. One moment. What is it, Sholmes? Inside Mr. Jigoku's trunk. I found this rather fascinating trinket. What is that, Seishiro? I can't help you, I'm afraid. Some small component from something. But what? I have no idea. By the look in his face, I think he generally doesn't know. Well, let us pocket it as a small souvenir for our brief sojourn in France. Oh, well, young Naruhodo, I think we've done as much as we can, I'm afraid. The rest will be on shoulders of you and your assistant.
Alright, I think I'm gonna stop here for now. I might be back later, but I need to go feed the cats. I'm already half an hour late for their feeding time, so, yeah. I'm really excited. Holy shit, we're in the last case? Jesus Christ. Oh my god, okay. Alright. Next time on Great Ace Attorney, I might be back. Yeah, I might be back later tonight, but we'll see how things go. See you later.